Hi guys, my name is Noni Matikela. Welcome to the Noni M podcast. So today I want us to talk about Ramasipele said something inside the courtroom on Monday, and then Ubaloyi did not act on it. Ugininda did not say anything to Ubaloyi. I suppose, I'm not sure, but there is something that I think it should be happening right now for the state to prove its case beyond reasonable doubt, but they are not doing it. The question is why. The question is why they are not doing it, because it is the only way to save their dead case. It is the only way to flog or to flodge. They need to be flogging or flogging their dead horse, but it's not happening. Why are they not doing this one thing? Because it will solve all their problems when it comes to a particular evidence that is being denied vehemently in that courtroom. Anyway, before we get into that, guys, please make sure that you do not forget to like, to share, to comment, and most importantly, please make sure you are subscribed on the channel. Please make sure you are watching the videos up until the end and you are watching the ads that are coming through. When you are doing that, you will be supporting the channel financially and with numbers, and I thank you so much for being part of the growth of the channel. We are currently sitting on 13,000 subscribers, and it is all thanks to you. So continue engaging, subscribing, and also please join the channel so that you can get your own content for members only content. I think it's high time that I start doing that, but I promise by June I'll be doing members only content. So guys, please make sure you join the channel. Anyway, let's talk about what I want to talk about. Guys, Ramasipele on Monday says that to the court. In fact, he was talking to Usambo, Mr. Sambo. Uthi Ramasipele kuSambo ba. Undanzi has renounced ubudlelwane and whatsoever between him and Mjiyako. Uthi yena, he did not give any mandate to Mjiyako. We are still asking, how did Mjiyako know about Undanzi's arrest? How did it was COVID? Undanzi claims he doesn't know Mjiyako. So how did Mjiyako know about Undanzi's arrest? That's a question, right? And also, now that he knows, where is the contract that they signed? How did Undanzi pay Mjiyako for his services? Where was the money coming from? Do you understand? And also, who conducted Mjiyako to come and represent Ndanzi? How did Mjiyako know? Now that in a courtroom on evidence and it's on record, Ramasipele, who's representing accused number 2, said that accused number 2 says he never gave no mandate to Mjiyako. Accused number 2 has renounced everything to do with Mjiyako, meaning that Mjiyako can be called into the court of law. This happened because the judge was like, what about client and attorney confidentiality situation? And Ulomtana was like, Ramasipele was like, actually, there's no such because it has been renounced. Now, why didn't Ubaloyi stand up? Because he sat there as if he's dead. He's not there. Did not say anything. Did not jump up and down. I guess it landed. It tested him with that jump up and down, jumping up and down from Ramasipele, because he said nothing. He did, because now I saw it as an opportunity for Ubaloyi to say, we are going to call Mjiyako if they are speaking like that. Why is Mjiyako not called to the witness box? Why is he not called? Maybe the other times it was about the client confidentiality stuff. But now that it was said on record in the court that it has been renounced, and then Mjiyako is not known by Undanzi, there's no mandate between Mjiyako and Undanzi. Why Ubaloyi didn't jump to the opportunity? Because Undanzi is lying according to them. They are saying Undanzi is lying. So to prove to Undanzi that you are a lie, you are a cheat, you are a lie, a chameleon, you change like this way now. You change on us and said you never did no confessions. Now you are not knowing, no mandates, nothing about Mjiyako. So why is Baloyi not jumping into an opportunity to say, you know what, let us subpoena Mjiyako? Why isn't Njiako not subpoenaed after Ntanzi said, I don't know him? I've never gave any mandate to him. If Ntanzi is lying about knowing Njiako, about not giving any mandate to Njiako, and is saying proudly, so I do not know him, he can come. Because that is him saying that he can come and say he knows me. We have a contract, we had a deal. Why is Njiako not coming through? Why is Njiako not coming? Why is Baloyi not inviting Njiako? If he doesn't want to come, then he gets subpoenaed. And then, enough about Baloyi. Why is the Njiako character not coming through and saying, you know what? Since Baloyi is not at what to call me defense, phones one of the defense lawyers and say, I want to come through and clean up the mess on my name because right now I don't like what is happening. Why is he not doing that? Why is he quiet while his name is being dragged like that? He is made to look like a fraudster, eh? So why is he not coming and say, actually, my lord, here I am? Even if he entered the door and say, my name is Ntokozo Dominic Njiako, I've been hearing a lot about my name being used carelessly in this courtroom. So now I have come. So, and then he's like, my lord, this is unusual. Can we do this? Bongani Ntanzi, you are telling the court that you don't know me. We don't have any contract, blah, blah, blah. And then he goes, allow me, my lord, to prove to you that this is the contract between me and Bongani Ntanzi. This is what happened. Why is he not doing that also? If Baloyi is not calling him, why is he not cleaning up? Because it's bad reputation. His reputation is being tainted over what? Why is he not cleaning up? That will be always my question. I don't understand. Honestly, I do not understand. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's not making sense for me. Uguti Baloyi does not see the need to call him Njiako, or he's not calling Njiako. Njiako does not come to court and say, I know it's unusual, but I think it can help a lot. Me bringing myself here, I want to know, why am I being dragged in this courtroom? Mr. Ntanzi knows me. Here's our mandate. He can't tell you that I don't have any mandate. He signed here, and then they asked that to sign again in a separate paper to see if this was his signature. Do you understand? And then kuyokhala again, if Ntanzi is lying. Isn't that a normal thing that one would do when his name and reputation is on the line of being ruined for something that is not true? As for Baloyi, I don't know. I don't know what to do with him, honestly. I don't know what to do with him, but something needs to be done because what is this, Nasan? What is this, Sina? Why are these people taking us for granted as South Africans? Why are we being undermined? Our intelligence, our being. They are so undermining of us, guys. Is it me overreacting, or they literally undermine us, guys? They literally do undermine us. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I feel like we are being undermined, Gesana, to the core by these people. We are being undermined, literally being undermined. What are your views when it comes to all of those things, guys? I thought let me share those thoughts of mine with you and find out what are you thinking about them. Do you think that Njiako, he will be doing justice for everyone to come and say, I know Ntanzi, this is how he conducted me, this is the number that he called me using, and this is what he told me, and this is what we did. And then when we got to Palm Ridge to sign the plea deal, this is what happened. Would that be such a bad thing if he does that? And then he goes on to say, I don't know why he's denying me, but he does know me. If that does not happen, Baloyi is supposed to be the one that is calling him and say, come, prove that we know you because Geninda knows you. He comes to tell us how he knows Danzi through the prosecutor. If the prosecutor doesn't want, then he can come himself. Why is that not happening? What are your thoughts when it comes to all of this? Thank you so much. I will see you on our next video. Bye-bye.